In the heart of Michigan, amidst the shadows of towering buildings, lived a homeless woman named Maggie. Her face weathered by the harsh winds of life, she wandered the streets aimlessly, seeking solace wherever she could find it. Maggie had no family, no friends, and no place to call home. She was an outcast, invisible to the bustling city around her. One cold winter night, as the street lamps flickered to life, Maggie sought refuge in an abandoned building. The wind howled through the broken windows, and the floors creaked with every step she took. But it was better than braving the frigid night outside. As Maggie settled into a corner, she noticed something unusual, the faint sound of laughter echoing through the desolate building. It was a child's laughter, warm and inviting, but there was no child in sight. Unease settled in the pit of her stomach, and she tried to dismiss the sound as a figment of her imagination. But as the nights passed, the laughter grew louder, more persistent, and now it was accompanied by the sound of tiny footsteps. One night, unable to ignore it any longer, Maggie followed the eerie sounds to a dimly lit room on the top floor. There, in the flickering candlelight, she saw the ghostly silhouette of a child, barely visible, yet undeniably present. The child's laughter echoed off the crumbling walls, sending chills down Maggie's spine. The child seemed oblivious to her presence, playing with an old, tattered doll. "Who are you?" Maggie whispered, her voice trembling. The child turned, and for a fleeting moment their eyes met, eyes that held a haunting sadness and an age-old longing. And then the child vanished into thin air, leaving Maggie alone with her fear. Terrified but curious, Maggie returned to the room night after night. The ghost child's presence became a constant in her life, a twisted comfort in the desolate world she inhabited. She named the child Emily, and in her own way, she befriended the ethereal presence. Emily became the daughter Maggie could not have. But as days turned into weeks, Emily's playful demeanor started to change. Her laughter grew unsettling, and her once innocent games turned malevolent. Objects moved on their own, and whispers filled the air, taunting and tormenting Maggie. Haunted by the relentless ghost child, Maggie's mental state deteriorated. What did she do to upset her adoptive child? She spoke to Emily, begging her to leave her be, but the child's laughter only intensified. As the ghostly presence grew more aggressive, Maggie's sanity hung by a thread. She found herself trapped in a nightmarish cycle, unable to escape the haunting memories of her past, now exacerbated by the ghost child's torment. One stormy night, Maggie reached her breaking point. The room trembled with Emily's rage, and Maggie's heart pounded in her chest. In a desperate attempt to find peace, she set the room ablaze, hoping to rid herself of the relentless spirit. But as the flames engulfed the space, Maggie saw Emily one last time. The child's eyes, now filled with sorrow, locked with hers. Emily pleaded to Maggie to stop the fire. It was too late. The flames reached every corner of the building, rapidly wrapping itself around the two. As the flames drew nearer and nearer, Maggie found herself trapped in the blaze. Her eyes darted around the room, seeking a means of escape. In the corner of her eyes, she noticed Emily screeching at a crumbled wall. She was trying to claw around the rubble, and to Maggie's surprise, she saw it. The corpse of two small children wrapped in each other's arms. The larger one was Emily's size. She encaged the smaller body with hers, as if trying to shield it from something. In that moment, Maggie understood the truth. Emily was not a malevolent spirit. She was a lost soul, protecting the remains of someone she deeply cared for. As the building burned around them, Maggie extended her hand to Emily. With tears in her eyes, she whispered, "You don't have to stay here, Emily. You can be free. Find peace. Find your friend." And with those words, Emily's eyes locked with Maggie's. A world of sorrow, love, pain, and release flashed through them, And with that, Emily's form dissipated, leaving only ashes behind. In the aftermath of the fire, Maggie emerged from the crumbling building, forever changed by her encounter with the ghost child. She continued to wander the streets, but now her heart hung heavy. Who was that child Emily was trying to protect?